ragamuffins.
So a while back, I decided to purchase Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 Roads. Now, if you're at all familiar with numbers, this is the sequel to 2015's Life is Strange, a game that I thought was pretty good in most respects. I wasn't a crazy huge fan of the story, like there's a lot here that just isn't explained, and the characters make a ton of different logical leaps to reach a quote-unquote shocking conclusion, but as far as atmosphere goes, Life is Strange pretty much knocks it out of the park, and I'm a real sucker for atmosphere. So yeah, I was fairly excited for Life is Strange 2, which I'm just gonna start calling Lease 2 for short, because otherwise we're gonna be here for an extra 20 minutes and we've got a lot to talk about. So, I think I've buried the lead long enough. The fact of the matter is that the writing in Lease 2 needs some work, to put it nicely. I played episode 1 for approximately 10 minutes before deciding to outright uninstall the thing. I'm not kidding. It was that bad. So not too long ago, my girlfriend inquired about Lease 2, to which I adamantly pleaded my case, which she promptly ignored. So I stopped fighting her, pulled up a chair, and prepared to laugh my ass off. So before I go any further, I guess I need to give you some semblance of a plot. You play as Sean, a 16-year-old who can essentially be swapped out for any angsty hipster in popular media. He has a quirky female friend who draws lists on his hand instead of sending him a text message, and actively wants to Skype with him despite the fact that they both have smartphones that probably have the ability to FaceTime. His younger brother is, for the most part, a pretty average 9-year-old kid named Daniel. Apart from the awful dialogue, he is appropriately annoying, and we were pretty much done with him halfway through the first episode.
Okay.
Hey, come see.
No.
Oh, he also has telekinetic powers that manifest when he and his brother get into a fight with their racist neighbor, resulting in their father being shot by a cop. An idea that is never once explored in the first episode, outside of 1 or 2 bits of dialogue.
Am I a monster?
My god, this guy monster.
So the two brothers hoof it out of town and head south toward Mexico, to where their father was supposedly born. And that's about it. You play the lead to Daniel's Clementine, as it were, and there was only one moment where I saw the repercussions of my actions actively affect Daniel's. And in the words of Gilderoy Lockhart,
it was pretty obvious.
Okay, so let's get into the dialogue here.
Not when Daniel's cock blocking me the whole time.
He just said cock blocking.
About his brother.
About his
He is
9-year-old
9.
brother.
Oh my god.
What's up with you, Sean? So when are you coming over?
I just have to hit up the momster for the car keys and hope she doesn't make me lie too much about the party.
Alright, so teenagers don't sound like this. Human beings don't sound like this either.
Not so fast, Shawnee boy. Don't you think your papito deserves a hug?
They also don't act like this, or for that matter, even look like this.
That did not scare me.
Liar, liar. I saw your face.
Time to get nitpicky.
So about halfway through the game, you run into this racist store owner who ties you to a pipe with the intent of turning you over to the police. Prior to this, we had the chance to fight him, run away from him, or talk him down. We chose the latter option, leading him to strike Daniel before punching us in the gut. So then he says this.
Little shit took off. I'll find him. Don't worry.
If you touch him...
You think I'd hurt a little boy? You think I'd hurt a little boy? You think I'd hurt a little boy?
Combo breaker!
We also ran into lines that just didn't make any sense in the context of the moment, like when we were escaping from that gas station.
Sean,
Watch out! Over there. Let's go.
I don't know.
That being said, I don't think I've ever looked at my imaginary watch more frequently than I have with Lease 2. I've played slow games before, but Lease 2 is a f***ing champion of wasting your time.
Come on down. We gotta eat.
What the f is this game? What are we doing?
Furthermore, while some of the music choices felt appropriate to that hipster tone and indie style that the last game had no trouble representing, it's far too sparse here. The majority of the voice actors also don't seem to fit into their roles as well as in Lease 1. That is to say that they seem almost shackled by the script itself.
Check it out. It even has a bathtub.
Good. I'm gonna throw you in, cave boy.
What?
You can watch TV. And there's a balcony.
I will say though, a character named Brody is the saving grace here. His dialogue doesn't fare much better, but the voice actor filling his shoes clearly has some experience and is able to deliver a fairly solid performance. Now, for some reason, he's introduced in a gas station where he's looking up porn as part of his traveling journalist profession. What?
I know what you're thinking. What the hell is this creep looking at?
No, I don't mean...
It's not as weird as it seems, though.
Do you think this is how people act on a daily basis? What kind of gas stations are you going to?
I went in the woods just before we got here.
Stop watching me, perv.
Here's the deal. Video game scripts don't have to be literary works of art in order to be good.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
However, when your game is almost completely story-based and relies almost entirely on pushing you through its narrative with meaningful and semi-realistic conversations, and you still can't get the basics of human speech down, you've got a problem. Like a really, really big problem. On top of that, the decisions here are often too harsh or less meaningful than I would have liked. Early on, prior to your fight with your neighborhood bully, Daniel spills fake blood all over him. You're given the opportunity to question Daniel or confront your neighbor. Okay, well, Daniel is clearly in the wrong here, so I'll ask him what happened. No big deal.
But it's gonna be really aggressive.
Dude, did you get the blood
Yeah.
on him?
It was an accident.
See what happens when you don't listen?
I was just acting like a zombie and I forgot. I swear.
I swear. When?
Okay, no. This isn't how the situation should be handled. Tell this guy to back the fuck off and drag the kid back into the house.
Your mom bailed on you.
Here's the wind-up! And there's the first hit! Which one of these two will emerge on top?
You and your whole f***ing family are going to jail.
Watch your profanity.
There are a few things I did like. Managing your money and how you spend it sort of mimics the idea from Tales from the Borderlands, even though we just ended up stealing a bunch of shit at the end. That being said, the further we got in, the more we found ourselves discussing aspects of the plot, regardless of how ridiculous it all felt in the end. Like, this kid is essentially turning into an amnesiac Matilda and we're just not gonna talk about it. Okay? In the end, we probably won't be continuing Sean and Daniel's journey. I wish I had more advice here other than just get better writers, because I can play armchair quarterback all goddamn day. But yeah, write better. The story here has potential, but it's presented in such a way that we didn't care what happened next. We were more preoccupied with the guy who looks at porn in a gas station.
No peeking.
1, 2,
Oh god.
3,
We're gonna sit through this?
4, 5, 6, 7,